name's Doug Swanson. I work down at the chemical plant. Usually been working overnighters, but got some family coming into town, so I'll be working the first shift this next week. Thought I'd take this opportunity to introduce myself and ask for a raise. At Mark Lahr, someone's handwriting sucks. 2324 from the Twitter. I don't even know how you say it. Asks Aaron, what is your second favorite show? After Fast and Loud, of course. To be completely honest, I really didn't watch our show. Most of the time when it comes on, I'm working. On top of that, I don't have cable. So maybe my favorite show, I don't know. Automotively speaking, Top Gear UK, hands down, best show ever. From the Instagram, Bok Choy Chino, 81, I see it's just Soy Chino, 81 asks, could you please show us all of your tattoos? They have to blur the one on my wiener, but it would be a very small blur. I've really just got, I don't have many, and then that really is it. Maybe I'm going to refrain. I won't show you all of them. I've got one on my back, and maybe my left shoulder, and the one on my hand, which everybody's seen. But the deal is that people ask me, a lot of guys in the shop have ink. How come you don't have any ink? Well, I like tattoos. It's just that most of my life I've made no money, and so I've preferred to spend all my money on motorcycles and car parts, because most of the time I sleep at the shop and on the picnic table out front or the bed of my truck, and every dollar I made I put into them. In fact, when I bought my F-150 I have now, I had basically a little bit of gas money and eating money till the next paycheck. So I kind of do that to myself all the time. And like my black and purple bike when I built it, no money for tattoos. I spent every dime I had, putting it together. So, no tattoos. I didn't really have enough money for them. I didn't really hang out with tattoo artists, so I never got the freebies. Not to mention, getting free stuff is weird because you owe people things. This is a bummer. Next, from FB, I'll assume that it's Facebook, unless it's some other form of social media that I'm unaware of. Tom Gulfold. I'd be a horrible teacher. I couldn't pronounce any of his name. But there again, if I didn't care, I'd be an interesting teacher. Tom Gulfoli. Sorry. You wore a Three Amigos costume for Cinco de Mayo. Who would your other two amigos be? In a perfect world, myself, of course, and then myself. But we haven't perfected cloning, so that's not going to work. And on second thought, I'm not sure that I could handle two more amigos. You do pretty good at the bar, though. I guarantee you that.
The Three Amigos!
Again, from the Twitter. At our cat's Poe. Hey man, how you doing? A little stressed. I got three cars that I'm building right now, all of which are behind schedule, and I'm stuck in a t-shirt closet with a candle and two other dudes. You tell me. Not a perfect scenario. From Instagram, friend Ryder Myers asks, what was your first car? Well, my first car was actually a pickup truck. And people ask me all the time how I got started in this, and this is probably a pretty direct question to that. Was my first car. So my dad was very awesome, and he bought me my first car when I was 16, and he bought me a little single cab, long bed, 4-cylinder, 5-speed Ranger, manual windows, manual door locks, kind of little truck, and but it was in good shape. Had a little camper on. I used to ride BMX a lot, and so it was cool that I put my bike in there, it wouldn't get stolen, but it wasn't really cool enough. So I saved up my nickels and pennies, and I bought a Jeep Cherokee, a 2-door Chief. The transmission was locked up in it. My dad helped me tow it back to the house, and he said, there's the book, there's the tools, figure it out. And so I put a transmission in it, lifted it, had a driveline vibration problem, ordered a driveline vibration fixer kit, and it turns out it was 2 sticks with holes drilled in it. From then I decided that if I needed something, I'd just make it. If I couldn't make it, then I would order it. As it turned out, I could make more of it than I thought I could. So I ended up just building stuff. All that came because my first little Ranger wasn't quite cool. From the Twitter, again, at Ginger for real. How long have you been a mechanic? Oh, where'd you get your start? We talk about cyclical things, bicycles, seasons, things like that. And mechanic. This is kind of all I've really done. since I was 19. I've done this as a profession since I was 19. I'm 32. I'll do the math. And the weird thing about it is like mechanics fix broken stuff, which I fix a lot of broken stuff. But we actually build cars. Or I prefer to build cars rather than fix broken cars. Take cars that aren't necessarily broken and build them from scratch. So I really never describe myself as a mechanic. I guess it technically fits. I just really build cars. I build machines. We make things, and they just happen to drive when we're done with them. So it works out well. Where did I get my start? You know, the weird thing is we just kind of started on our own. My friend Scott, who used to be on the show with me, and myself, just cutting up trucks in the garage and everything we saw in the magazine we tried to emulate. And if someone, told us about it, we'd go home and try and do it. And then for long, this fella named Chris Pierce owned a little shop in Arlington, and I told him, I said, it'd work out real well for you if you hired me, because you get rid of some of your competition, and I'd get a job. So I went to work for him. So here we are all these years later, and Chris now works here at the Gas Monkey Garage. It's interesting. Someone asked me, about how the world works. I say it works in circles. So, still doing the same thing, still having a good time, just like John Milner, staying right here, having a good time. Dwayne Sanchez from the Facebook asks, have you ever worried you will get your beard caught somewhere in a car when working on them? Oh, working on cars, yeah. Yeah, happens all the time. I catch my beard on fire probably once every 2 weeks or so, that kind of time frame. So I catch it on fire often. Catching it in stuff, yep, all the time. Oddly enough, the Falcon, I catch it on all the time because when we're working on like the race pack or something, the way I lay over the rear, the bar in the cage, kind of tear beard hairs out all the time. Fans, carburetors, stuff like that. So it gets burned, gets caught on things often. So do I have a fear about it? No. Facebook, Jose Tovar wants to know, would you be mad if you were conceived in a Mustang? No, because I think they're a fuckbox anyway. So Facebook Dwayne, any car, any budget, what would you build? I have thousands of ideas how to modify existing cars, but I would absolutely love to build a car from scratch, and that would require any budget. Because, people do it all the time. They're called race cars. But I've got no interest like building a car company, but I would like to build a car, to see the height of performance that we were capable of building, or at least I was capable of building. But that's about it. Any car, any budget. We could customize anything, but it sure would be interesting to see what you could do as a personal challenge starting from scratch. And there's so many people that have gone that path and I've been inspired by. So I think that would be interesting. And it just might suck, but it might be cool too. All right. So that concludes Eat the Monkey.